When LeBron speaks, courts tremble. Leave it to LeBron James to hijack every headline with a single breath. Sitting in the soft glow of the shop, he leaned forward, locked eyes with the camera, and fired. If you can't see why Caitlin Clark catches harder elbows and hotter hate, you're not watching basketball. You're watching your own bias. Those 25 words detonated across timelines faster than any buzzer beater. But here's the twist. Right after that very public defense, Clark herself made the most private power play imaginable. She stepped away from the NBA dream everyone insisted she chase. Why would the newest face of hoops fold a winning hand? Stay locked in, because the truth weaves through egos, paychecks, and a storm of bruises you never saw on SportsCenter. LeBron could have let the chatter roll on. After all, the Lakers were clawing for playoff position, and every minute of his media availability is usually scripted tighter than a Marvel trailer. Instead, cameras caught him during a break on The Shop, barber's cape still draped over his shoulders, when someone off-screen asked about Caitlin Clark's latest bruising foul montage. The King's posture shifted. He leaned in, elbows on knees, face inches from the lens, and said, "You see a girl getting clubbed like that and call it rookie humbling? I call it lazy defense hiding behind lazy excuses." The studio fell silent, the way locker rooms do right before overtime. Then he kept going, comparing Clark's every move microscope to the media circus that stalked him at 17, but with the added landmines of gender bias. He rattled off stats faster than a PA could fact-check. Clark's jersey outsold every rookie in either league. Her social media engagement dwarfed entire NBA franchises, and yet she's still earning less than the league's 15th man who never leaves the bench. "If greatness is obvious," he said, "why are we taxing her for daring to collect on it?" It got spicier. LeBron clipped highlights of those notorious hits. Chennedy Carter's hip check, Sophie Cunningham's full-body closeout, and slapped the slow-motion replays onto his Instagram story with a single caption. "This would be a flagrant 2 here. Miss me with the toughen her up talk." 20 million followers watched that story in under an hour. Debate shows scrambled to rewrite rundowns. By dinner, sucker shots and thinly disguised outrage clicks. 2 phrases he fired off mid-rant were trending beside #Caitlin Clark. The monologue's ripple spread beyond basketball. Serena Williams quote-tweeted a clip. "Same sport, same problem." Billie Jean King followed with an op-ed draft by Sunrise. Even the NFL's Patrick Mahomes tossed in a side-eye emoji so fans could read between the lines. Corporate sponsors noticed too. Insiders leaked that a shoe brand holding out on a Clark signature deal greenlit the design phase within 24 hours, apparently deciding that if King James is willing to stake his legacy on Clark's talent, betting against her was suddenly riskier than aligning with her. And LeBron didn't stop at words. He phoned Nike's global basketball VP that night, suggesting a cross-gender skills camp headlined by himself, Steph Curry, and Clark. Reports say the proposal included ESPN primetime coverage and a pledge to donate every ad dollar to girls' grassroots programs. Whether the camp happens or not, the message landed. LeBron converted his cultural capital into a shield and dared the world to swing again. Yet LeBron was only the first domino, because once the king plants a flag, the court of public opinion turns into a full-court press. Draymond Green has never been confused with a peacekeeper. Yet on the Draymond Green show, he opened with a highlight reel that, uncharacteristically, wasn't about him. Clip after clip showed Caitlin Clark absorbing shoulder checks, off-ball elbows, and what he called straight-up street fouls masquerading as defense. When the montage ended, Draymond stared into the camera, jaw locked. "If I did half of that in the NBA," he growled, "I'd be wiring 10 grand to the league office by breakfast." He didn't stop there. Pulling a whiteboard onto the set, he diagrammed the difference between physical play and predatory hits, circling Clark's hip check in thick red marker. "You don't need 260 pounds to bully," he said. "You just need intent, and the refs letting it slide." That snippet went viral on coaching blogs, sparking a mini clinic in youth gyms about the line between toughness and cheap shots. Patrick Beverley, Hoops' resident instigator, chimed in next. On his Pat Bev pod, he admitted he once circled December 15 on the calendar, the date his Bulls faced Clark's Fever in preseason scrimmage, just to see if she's really about that life. After reviewing the foul tape, Beverly flipped scripts. Nah, she already proved it. I've seen grown men fold on lighter contact. If you're fouling to trend on TikTok, you ain't a hooper, you're a stunt double. His co-host nearly spat out a protein shake. Social media algorithms, trained to amplify Beverly's trash talk, got confused when he played protector instead of predator, but the clip still clocked 2 million views by lunch. Their unlikely alliance opened floodgates. Meta World Peace tweeted a 5-emoji combo. Translation: brick walls don't break little girls. Charles Oakley called into NBA radio to recount a 1992 Knicks-Bulls skirmish, then hailed Clark. She's got 90s New York spine in a Gen Z body. Even Bill Laimbeer, patriarch of the Bad Boys Pistons, surfaced on a Detroit podcast to admit, if she shoots from 30 feet, you press her at 35. Anything else is coward's play. Old school bruisers turning chivalrous? That itself felt like a cosmic glitch. Back in the dub, whispers turned to side eyes. A veteran forward, protected by anonymity, privately grumbled that NBA voices were mansplaining the women's game. But another countered, if Draymond's calling our refs soft on flagrants, maybe we should listen. The league office did more than listen. Rule clarification memos hit team inboxes within 48 hours, reminding officials that intentional contact above the waist warranted immediate review. Translation: fewer hip checks, more free throws. ESPN seized the moment for a crossover panel. Draymond in studio, Beverly remote from Chicago, and Clark's former Iowa coach, Lisa Bluter, joining from her kitchen. Bluter recounted Clark absorbing football practice drills with Iowa's defensive backs to prep for postseason physicality. Draymond nodded, impressed, then issued a challenge. Pre-season, I want one open practice. Let's mic up Clark, me, and Pat. We'll run 3-point closeouts, no cheap shots, just hoops. See who's still talking after. Ticketmaster's holding page crashed within minutes of the segment. All that noise flipped the narrative. Where talking heads once labeled Clark media maid, she now sat at the center of a rare consensus. If you foul her just to make a statement, the statement is that you can't guard her. From that moment on, every defender knew the cameras weren't just watching Clark. They were watching them, watching Clark. Yet praise can't dull lingering bruises, and Clark's next move would prove she had one more shock left for both leagues. Every highlight clip you've seen of Caitlin Clark draining logo threes masks the quiet, swelling purple that never makes the broadcast. By mid-June of her rookie season, team trainers logged 17 separate, high-impact contusions, a polite medical code for got hammered, most delivered away from the ball, far from TV angles that draw whistle-happy referees. The Fever's head athletic trainer leaked that Clark's post-game routine resembled an NFL lineman's, alternating ice bath plunges and deep tissue work just to keep her back from seizing after blindside shoulder checks. The pain wasn't only physical. On a red eye from Seattle, Clark scrolled social media and watched a clip of her own stumble under a flagrant shove set to circus music. 1.8 million views in 8 hours. She snapped her phone shut, but the arena playlist in Phoenix was already sampling the same meme. I can play through bruises, she told a teammate, but I don't know how to score through mockery. The rookie wall wasn't a matter of stamina. It was the realization that every miss, every grimace, every thread of athletic tape became viral fodder within minutes. Money, of course, magnified every bruise. Clark's $76,000 rookie salary broke down to roughly $930 per game after taxes and union dues. Less than the courtside seat someone live streaming her bruises paid to watch. Contrast that with Spurs rookie Rob Dillingham, who pocketed roughly $62,000 per quarter on a standard first-round NBA deal. The graphic aired on Get Up 9 times in a single week. 2 headshots, 2 numbers, 1 bottom-line question. Why are the league's brightest lights paid like summer interns? Corporate America noticed the discrepancy long before the leagues did. Nike's year-one merch revenue from Clark jerseys topped $14 million. But because of antiquated licensing splits, her direct cut barely covered 2 years of rent in downtown Indy. A marketing executive, speaking off record, called it the most lopsided conversion rate in modern sports retail. Meanwhile, the Fever's travel department still booked commercial flights, meaning Clark iced sore ankles and cramped coach seating, occasionally beside fans who'd paid for autographs she wasn't allowed to sign in flight under league policy. pressure metastasized in quieter corners too. Fever coach Christy Sides tried shielding Clark from daily press scrums, only to face fines. League-mandated media availability left Clark fielding questions about the pay gap moments after loosening ankle tape. One night in New York, a reporter asked if she felt grateful just to be here, minutes after a no-call shoulder charge sent her sprawling into photographers. Her answer made the post-game ticker, "Gratitude doesn't buy Advil." Then came the Olympic snub. Despite leading the league in both jersey sales and highlight reel minutes, Clark's name was absent from Team USA's Paris roster. The stated reason? Roster balance and experience. Yet fans noted that 3 forwards selected over her averaged fewer points combined than Clark alone. Ticket brokers savored the chaos. U.S. exhibition game prices dropped 18% the hour her omission went public. Stack the bruises, the meme culture, the paycheck math, the national team rejection, and you get the true rookie reality. A 22-year-old star living 2 timelines at once. Transcendent icon on your screen, underpaid target on the court. Every deep 3 padded the highlight reel, but every off-camera shove padded her medical file. And somewhere in that widening gap between fame and fairness, the idea of escaping, of testing NBA waters, of rewriting the script altogether, stopped sounding like a fantasy and started feeling like survival. When a glimmer of that escape finally appeared, Clark sprinted toward it, straight into the wildfire that became the NBA rumor storm. At 8:07 a.m. on a Tuesday that should have been just another practice day, Caitlin Clark broke the internet with an unassuming PDF. 9 sentences, 213 words. No logo, no publicist quote, just a date stamp and her digital signature. She wrote of protecting my joy for the game, recalibrating my body and mind, and declining all NBA-related opportunities for the foreseeable future. Absent were the usual platitudes about next chapters or trusting the process. Instead, she closed with a chill-inducing mic drop. Love of basketball got me here. Love of basketball will decide where I go next. The statement detonated like a half-court buzzer beater. Nike executives, already huddled on an early call about her next colorway, greenlit a full signature line within 20 minutes, wagering that scarcity sells better than saturation. One insider leaked the projected numbers. A 7-year package north of $28 million, retrofitting her earnings to something closer to her male counterparts. Rival brands scrambled. Puma floated a last-second counteroffer, while Adidas quietly registered the phrase logo range for potential merch, just in case. Inside the Fever facility, shock rippled through Slack channels. Veterans texted variations of, "You good?" while rookies stared at their phones, processing that the locker room cornerstone had just pulled the building blocks out from under a national narrative. Head coach Christy Sides called a closed-door meeting, reminding players the season marched on. Yet even Sides later admitted that practice felt like running plays in an echo chamber. The local beat writer described the gym's atmosphere as thick with unspoken questions, like the air before a Midwestern thunderstorm. Media reactions split down freshly drawn battle lines. One camp praised her audacious brand control, likening the move to Michael Jordan's 1993 baseball sabbatical, recalibration by way of disappearance. The other camp labeled it an abandonment of responsibility, accusing Clark of leveraging controversy to inflate endorsements. Yet both sides agreed on one thing: silence had never screamed so loudly. Google searches for WNBA pay gap spiked 340% within 2 hours, and ESPN's afternoon lineup bumped an NFL mini-camp recap just to air a special titled Clark and Autonomy: Who Owns an Athlete's Dream? Behind the curtain, sports psychologists weighed in. Dr. Kendra Morris, who consults with multiple NBA teams, explained on Outside the Lines that Clark's decision mirrored a growing trend of athletes, preemptively protecting mental bandwidth before burnout turns to breakdown. Her comment struck a chord. Twitter lit with testimonials from weekend warrior hoopers to ex-pros who'd quit under quieter spotlights. The hashtag #PlayForJoy surfaced, populated by clips of parks and dusty gyms where love of the game first ignites. Exactly the image Clark said she was chasing back to. Meanwhile, league offices crunched contingency plans. The WNBA floated an emergency marketing pivot, recentering campaigns on league-wide parity rather than one transcendent star. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, in a statement both diplomatic and faintly disappointed, applauded her ownership of narrative, but acknowledged that the door remains open should her journey lead back to us. Translation: the NBA wasn't closing the curtain, just dimming the lights until the protagonist decided whether to re-enter. All the while, Clark remained radio silent. Friends said she retreated to a family lake house in Iowa, spending mornings fishing and afternoons shooting in the driveway, where she first practiced logo bombs. No film crew, no paid partnership posts, just a weather-worn hoop, a Bluetooth speaker, and the rhythmic echo of leather on concrete. One neighbor swore the sound carried across the cornfields at dusk, each swish a reminder that you can take the phenom out of the spotlight, but you can't take the spotlight out of a pure shooter's arc. And in that stillness, the basketball world held its breath, because fallout travels faster than a fast break outlet pass, and Clark's silence was now the loudest commentary in sports.